You're listening to Digi City, a cyberpunk story in 10 parts, written by Jarrett Rush and produced by SciFi Serials.com in cooperation with the author. Part 8. Garage. Miller found Cruz in a shadow, waiting around the corner from the entrance to the parking garage a few blocks away from Roma's headquarters. They walked the ramp to the third floor in silence. The structure was mostly empty. Only the bottom level was used anymore, if any of the spaces were used at all. People abandoned cars years ago, the price of gas making them impractical. Some had abandoned them in this garage. The upper floors were dotted with vehicles that were now painted with multiple years of dust and grime. Cruz found a sedan and leaned against the quarter panel. "You can't do what you did today. No stunts like that. You don't raise your voice to me. You don't slam my desk like that. We aren't going to have any more outbursts." "Understood." "Where are the kids?" "Understood." "It doesn't matter. Where are the kids?" Cruz shook his head. "I'm being honest with you when I say I don't know, but I also know you aren't a fool. Those posters are up for a reason. Those kids probably never made it back home." Miller struggled for words, then, "You didn't tell me that was going to happen. You just said to bring them in. And that's what you did. You have no culpability in this." "I'm not worried about culpability. Look." Cruz stood and stepped toward Miller. He lowered his voice. "This is what happened. You guys would bring them to me. I had someone I took them to. After that, I don't know where they went. You guys would bring them to me. How many people did you have out chasing down runners?" "There was you and a couple others. The list I got was long. The timeline was short. I had to break it up." "So how many kids total?" "I don't know, 50? We aren't finished yet." "You may not be, but I am. I'm done." "Okay, we can reassign you." "No, I'm done with Roma." "What?" Genuine surprise lit across Cruz's face. His eyes narrowed, his nose wrinkled. "I see the guys Roma hires now. They aren't looking for guys like me. They just want someone who can come in and knock some heads around, or apparently, something more serious. If you see the kinds of guys Roma is hiring, then you know that I need you, even if the company doesn't. I need guys with skills, guys I can count on." "No, I'm done. I can't just—" Cruz interrupted Miller. "Wait." Cruz reached into a pocket and pulled out a piece of paper. It was a printout from a security camera near the docks. Miller checked the date in the upper corner. It was from the night of the explosions. Miller looked back at the faces. "Recognize anyone?" Cruz asked. Miller began to slowly nod. "It's Rexall," he said. "It's Rexall," Cruz repeated. Miller stared at the picture. "He did this? He was part of it?" "It appears so," Cruz said. "I thought I recognized him in other shots from other cameras, but there weren't any shots with a clean look at his face until the other day. Some small camera that usually just watched a door. Shockwave from the blast shifted its point of focus a bit. That's how we got that shot." "Lucky," Miller said and handed the photo back to Cruz. "Most of this business is." "So why did you show me that?" Miller asked. "Because I need you to find him." "You don't need me. You said yourself that Roma is hiring guys. And you said you know what kind of guys Roma is hiring. I want him brought in one piece. There's no guarantee that happens with these new guys. But he'll trust you. You'll be able to get him to turn himself in. And if I can't? Then I know you're able to hold your own if things get physical." Miller walked in a wide circle. Rexall wouldn't be easy to find. He knew how to hide. He knew how to fight or run if he was found. Plus, Miller didn't have any tricks that Rexall didn't know. They were the same person. Soldiers. Cops. Their training was identical. But asking Miller to find someone this difficult to bring in meant Miller had leverage. He had a chip to bargain with. "Okay," he said. "I'll do it. But only if—" "Whatever you want." Cruz interrupted. "But only if this is it. Once I bring in Rexall, then I'm done with Roma. I walk." Cruz was back to leaning against the quarter panel of the sedan. "Where do you walk to? Where are you going to go?" "I don't know, but it won't be here. It's gotten that bad? You don't know where else you'll go or what else you'll do. You just know it can't be this. Miller pointed at Cruz, then put a finger on the tip of his own nose. Bingo. Then okay, Cruz said. He stood. If that's what you want, then you can go after you find Rexall and his friend. What? He's got the friend. The big guy. We need him too. Miller considered it for a brief second, then nodded. This friend have a name? We're working on it. Let me know when you figure it out. I've got to get home. We'll be in touch, Cruz said as Miller walked away. But don't let that keep you from finding Rexall. Miller stuck a hand above his head and waved. It was over. Almost. Soon. Carrie would be happy. By the time Miller made it back home, light from the sun was poking its way above the horizon. It was those moments just before dawn when the anticipation of a new day made everything feel new and fresh and full of opportunity. The bell above Molly's diner rang when Miller walked in. He sat in a seat near the door and drummed his fingers on the countertop. "Morning, stranger," said the waitress as she approached. "Where's that wife of yours?" Miller smiled. "Home. Sleeping, I assume, if the baby is letting her." "You hungry? Need to get a couple things to go. Surprising her."